Hey y'all, welcome back. Welcome to a new video. Today we're going to talk about all of the things that give me serotonin and dopamine. The things that make me happy, the things that keep my brain occupied. If you are new here, my name is Rachel. I'm an artist. I'm neurodivergent. I'm also disabled. And one of my neurodivergencies is ADHD. So my brain is constantly spinning. It's hard for me to shut off my brain. And in order for my brain to be calm and happy, I need some kind of a distraction. Whether it's a book, whether it's a physical activity like sitting down and filming and putting on makeup and getting ready for this channel, and sitting down and editing my videos. It just gives my brain happy tingles. But I have two pages worth of notes. So we're gonna sit down and talk about these. Note, none of these are like makeup, clothing, perfume, none of that stuff. They're all hobbies and things that I physically do or media that I consume. So number one is going to be like shows, movies, Big Mouth, which is my favorite stoner show. I love to just get stoned and watch it. It's ridiculous. They just released their last season. And I'm like, all right, I need to catch up on the last season before I watch the new season. The Handmaid's Tale. I read that book in college. And the show has just been remarkable. Like, it lagged a bit in season like 5, 6, but it has really picked up and it's gotten so good. It's an important show for our time period, the time in which we live, as you know, relates to reproductive rights, as relates to just the implementation of this fascist authoritarian regime that is so structured in religion that it violates human rights in order to live up to their religious being. I love stuff that questions and makes us think about our current situations. And it's a remarkable show. It is one of those that I will sit down and rewatch before a new season releases. I just finished The Pit. I really took my time with it. I would watch an episode and then come back a couple days later and watch another episode. And it's so good. 16-year-old little Rachel had a huge crush on Noah Wyle. And watching The Pit now, 16-year-old Rachel had at least good choices in one celebrity crush. So yeah, stuff like that makes me think, that gives me a viewpoint into a society and into a world that I do not ever intend to be in. You know, I also have been watching like prison documentaries, and I get really into World War II historical fiction. I guess we're going into the book section of this stack of serotonin delivery systems. So I have been reading World War II historical fiction for, I don't know, 2 years now. And I veer away and I come back. I read the Hunger Games. I read the second prequel, so Sunrise on the Reaping. And then I went back and reread the first 3 books. I didn't read Songbirds and Snakes again. I'd already read it. And I felt like it dragged. Like, I understand the length because we needed to hit on the beats of Snow's development and the impetus for his villainy. Yeah, we'll use those words. But it was just a very long book. That being said, it was read by Santino Fontana, who voiced Hans in Frozen. And his voice is just liquid melted butter. It is so smooth and so sexy. Oh my God. So yeah. Anyways, I have a list here of my top 5 favorite World War II historical fiction novels. The first one is called A View Across the Rooftops by Suzanne Kelman. This is a remarkable story about a math professor in Amsterdam who has to hide one of his Jewish pupils. And it is so different from a lot of these novels where it's usually younger people leading the story. It's also about a relationship between two men, which is, unless they're like combat soldiers, you don't hear about relationships between men that are respectful and understanding and trying to understand and respect each other's culture and beliefs and help each other along and help each other survive. Like, that is the basis of a lot of these novels, is the best that humanity can be versus the absolute worst that humanity has ever been. So like the resistance fighters, the people who harbored Jews versus the Nazis and Hitler. So that's where a lot of these stories start. And then the people around them is what really brings them to life. So A View Across the Rooftops, remarkable book. The Paris Showroom by Juliet Blackwell. Fabulous story about an estranged mother and daughter. The mother is in her 40s, so she has a lot of recollection of being in her 20s during the jazz period. Her family, her father is an artisan who makes bespoke fans, you know, with feathers and beading and lace and painting. It's the way that these are described is just gorgeous. There is a lot of French spoken in this book, but I listened to it and I speak a little bit of French. But it is just a remarkable story. It's about a mother and daughter who, the mother is a prisoner in the Leviton department store, and this store is in the middle of Paris. And she is there because she is an artisan and because she is not Jewish. She is communist by association. So her father is an avowed communist. He gets arrested and deported right away because he's old. But she stays in the store and is charged with refurbishing the merchandise taken from Jewish homes and reselling it, getting it cleaned up and reselling it to the Nazis to decorate their homes in Paris. And the daughter lives in the country with her father's parents. The father is dead. It's so rich and layered. And it draws you in. The narration on the audiobook is just so good. It's languid. It's beautiful. The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. This is a pretty popular book, and it's popular for a reason. It's a story of two sisters, each resisting the Nazis in their own way. And they both pay a price. Their work is both visible and hidden. There's subterfuge. It's dark and scary at times, but so was World War II. Fabulous book. It has been in like production limbo. There's supposed to be a film coming out about it. That's a film adaptation, but we don't know when that's coming. It got caught up in pre-production hell during COVID, and we don't know if it's ever going to actually come to fruition, which makes me sad because it would make a great movie. All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. This book won the Pulitzer Prize for fiction for a reason. This book is about the liminality of living and existing during a war, but also within our own constraints. And as somebody who's disabled, I very much identified with it. Absolutely gorgeous prose, but do not watch the Netflix series. It is absolute garbage. A book that I can recommend that was made into a series is We Were the Lucky Ones. I can't remember the author, but that was made into a series and it's on Hulu. It's fabulous. think it's like 6 or 8 parts. And Joey King, who I know from like, you know, teeny bopper crappy movies, does a remarkable acting job in this series. She's fantastic. But yeah, watch that series. Do not watch All the Light We Cannot See. It's horrendous. And the last one is The Paris Deception, which is about a sister and her sister-in-law who team up to recreate artworks that the Nazis have, you know, might burn. So the woman is the main character. Words, Rachel. So the main character is an art restorer at the Jeu de Paume museum in Paris. Her sister-in-law is an artist and a painter. So the art restorer smuggles paintings out of the museum. She takes them off the stretcher and folds them up and puts them inside her coat lining or in a briefcase and takes them to her sister-in-law. Her sister-in-law then recreates them and they smuggle them back into the museum. And it's fictionalized, but a little bit of this happened during the war. And this book has one of my absolute favorite Nazi humiliation scenes. It's just so good. It's mostly fictionalized, but it's a really beautiful story. So those are my top 5, 6 books, I guess. They're great. They're great. I have read some real stinkers, but these are the ones that have risen to the top that I think about and I remember when I start going back and thinking about what I've read. All right, let's move on from World War II historical fiction. Hobbies. I have a lot of hobbies. I have a lot of hobbies that flow with my ability to function. So if I'm in a lot of pain, I'm probably not going to be working in the ceramic studio. However, my brain wants to be in the ceramic studio regardless of whether or not I'm in pain. And that is just a choice and a sacrifice that I have to make. I have to know that, like, okay, I'm working on the potter's wheel today. That means adjusting my posture, making sure I'm bending from the hips and not the waist, making sure I've got a good steady lever with my left arm and it's drilled into my leg and I've got a lever. Nothing gives my brain the serotonin of sitting there working with clay on a wheel. It's just so good. I love rotation. I don't know why. It just makes controlled rotation. I don't like things out of the corner of my eye moving. I don't like blinking lights. But sitting there working with clay and moving it and manipulating it makes my brain so happy. What I don't love is the radical acceptance that I have to deal with when I've made a piece and I've glazed it and I've put so much work into it and then it comes out of the kiln and it looks like crap. Or I really love the inside and the outside I'm not sure if I love. But there's also, like, it could possibly explode. If it's too thick, it could crack. And that's just the fact of the matter. It's just a matter of fact that ceramics is hold your breath and you just do it and you get what you get. And you do it, if you learn, you do it again and it gets better. So I'm also a sewer and a quilter. I love making bags. I love making 3-dimensional objects that don't have to fit a body. I don't love making clothes. And it may be because my body is so asymmetrical that it's hard for me to to theorize making a dress that's actually going to fit here, even though my body tips this way. But I love quilting. I have just absolutely exploded as a quilter in the last handful of years. I got to show my quilts in a show this year. I showed 3 of my quilts and it was just, oh my God, it was so good. the feedback from people about, oh my God, I loved your tie-dye quilt, just absolutely warmed my heart, because it's this validation that like I'm not wasting my time. And while I may really love what I'm making, it helps to know that other people are also appreciative and maybe a little jealous. You know, I like it. It's an ego boost. It boosts my ego. It makes me sit up a little taller, and it's so satisfying. But it also comes with a price. You know, sitting at a sewing machine is painful, especially the way I have my studio laid out. It is not the best, but I had to push a lot of stuff into a small space. So I'm working the way I have to work. Cooking. I love to cook. I used to love to bake, but with celiacs, it's a lot harder. It's a lot more work for not a, you know, a midland outcome. However, Mother's Day, I made double 2-inch thick, so double cut pork chops. I smoked them in mesquite. Oh, they were so good. They were so good. I found the recipe on Cook's Country and I was like, I have to make these. And I didn't take any photos. I just brought them inside and let them rest. And then we cut into them and they were so good. They were one of the best things I've ever made. And then I just took some mushrooms. I don't eat mushrooms. I don't like eating just a mushroom. I'll eat them if they're in things, but I had some mushrooms and I was like, well, we've got a vegetarian friend, and I threw a brick of tofu on the grill for her with the same seasoning rub, but I wanted another veggie side. So I made these mushrooms that I coated in oil and salt and pepper and garlic and onion. And then I threw them on the grill after I took off the pork chops, and I let them sit for about half an hour. And they were apparently really good. They were juicy, they were flavorful, they had a really good texture. I love that. I love just throwing something together, not knowing how it's going to turn out, and using my own intuition and my knowledge of cooking to kind of say, oh, let's see what happens. It's a lot of fun. This YouTube channel has been so good for my mental health. It really has. I have everything from the planning stages to the like physically sitting down and putting on makeup and getting my thoughts together, to sitting down and actually talking, which rewires the nonsense that my brain just starts spinning because I'm actively speaking and my brain can't go wibbly wobbly because I'm focusing on something. And it's really good for me, and I love doing this. And then when I'm hurting, I can sit down and I can edit and I can make my thumbnails, and I really get this entire process. And then once I upload a video, I'm done with it. I delete it off my hard drive and I move on. And it's been so much fun. And I hope if you're watching this channel on the regular, that you are enjoying my content as much as I am. And if there's anything you'd like to see, let me know down below. All right, I also do like needlecraft. So I knit. I've been knitting since I was like 18 years old. Embroidery. I cannot crochet. I draw a little bit. I paint a little bit. I have so many tactile hobbies that keep my brain and my hands busy. I also have started doing the New York Times crossword puzzles. I don't do the crossword itself, but I do like the bee. I love the Sudoku. Apparently, I am awesome at Sudoku. I didn't know that. I thought I was like, oh my God, it's all math. It's going to be terrible. No, I freaking love it. It forces my brain to focus. Like, any external stimuli, I need to tune out so that I can focus on what I'm doing. And again, it hits that hard reset on my brain. It's like, no, you can't be thinking about other stuff that's bothering you. You have to focus on this. And again, it's so good. It's so good. It resets my brain waves and I love it. other stuff. My cats. I have 5 cats, and they each have their own individual personalities. Their little quirks, they're just like, Loki loves people. He loves going outside. He loves being social. Fury is my little snuggly shadow. I think he's on the couch across the room. Pepper is a whirlwind of activity. She just zoomies around the house. Her favorite toys are Tootsie Roll wrappers. She's nuts, and I love her so much. Emmy is as round as she is tall. She's a British short hair, so she got tiny little legs and a squished in face. And she just, I got her when she was 5 months old, and she was this tiny little kitten who was afraid of everything. Like, she would hide in the corner when I had to isolate her from the other cats because she had a respiratory infection when I brought her home from the shelter. And she has just turned into a cat who not only asks for what she wants, but she demands. She does what I call the Emmy scream, which is ah! And she's got this tiny little voice. She's so funny. And Groucho is my little old lady. She's going to be 13 at the end of June. And she just is a love. She just wants attention and love and sunshine and fresh air and all of those things that cats typically want. And she's just so special. She's a special old lady. So those are my cats. They give me so much joy. And they also give me something to focus on taking care of. My friends, I am so lucky to have the friends that I have. I have friends that, I've had for 20 some odd years, and we've seen each other grow. I have friends who blame me for introducing them to each other, and they're now married. They make me so happy. I have several friends who are looking out for me. They have my surgeries scheduled in their calendars so that when the surgeries happen, they know to stay in touch and to check in and see if I need help with anything. Oh my God, I'm crying. So yeah, I have a good friend network, and they really do keep me focused and remind me that, like, with all of the shit that I have going on, I have a remarkable group of people to lift me up and that I can lift up. It does help me to focus on others and check in on others. All right, let's move on. Caffeine. Like, caffeine just boosts my energy, gets my brain moving, helps me kind of come out of this fog. That being said, caffeine can also put me back to sleep. I can get up, take my meds, have a cup of tea, and go back to bed and crash for another hour or two. And then there's the physical movement stuff. There's going to the gym. I love lifting. I love lifting weights. It makes me feel like such a badass, especially when I'm hurting. Because of the way my spine is shaped, I have a lot of pain in my scapula, like the shoulder blades and I know that if I get on like the weight machine where you pull back like you're rowing, that's going to work my back muscles and it's going to stop the pain. It's going to build up those muscles and it's going to stop the pain. So it makes me feel like I have some control, even just a minuscule amount of control over what's going on inside my body. Swimming. I've been taking adult swim classes, and the last one is just sleep. I will, if I'm having a rough day or my eyes hurt, my head hurts, I can't focus, I will lay down, I will turn on my latest book, and I will just lay there with my eyes closed, and I'll set a sleep timer for half an hour, and as long as I sleep is as long as I sleep. I don't really try and judge. I know this video was a little unusual, but I hope you took something from it. If nothing else, I hope it was just entertaining. I hope you all are taking care of yourselves so you can take care of each other, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye, friends.